Hi, so this video is on a very typical topic of how to get into data science or how what was my journey in data science. So all those typical topics that you might have heard on internet, but this would be a very candid experience, extremely honest experience. So let's begin. Let's begin. Yeah. So what it is, I started I started my journey in the year of 2018. It was before my pre-final year. I started with an internship, and I had learned about what machine learning is, what artificial intelligence is. It was quite fascinating to me that there are things that machine can do automatically that and can almost imitate human beings in certain fields and aspects. So that was quite interesting and fascinating to me. And then I learned what my decision was based on. That all it needed was bit of mathematics, bit of statistics, good understanding of software engineering, or and good understanding of basic mathematical or uh, stuff. So that was my decision. What it was based on. I knew that I'm good at it, and I jumped into it. I didn't have any idea of what the field was, but regardless of that, I jumped into it. In 2018, I started off with an internship. I started off with an internship. I learned about what the basic machine learning concepts are. So got to know that machine learning before its hype was also known as data mining and all the stuff. So in parallel to this, in parallel while the internship was happening, it was in the month of May, June, or June, July. I also gathered information about how to a programming language. Yeah, that is must. You must know one programming language, and that is either you can go for Python or you can go for R. So if you go for Python, there's a huge community support that you will get. So if you go for Python, you will have a huge community support, and that was my reason. That was my reason. Why did I go for Python? Now comes like, okay, I need to improvise myself. So after 2 months, I had a superficial feeling that yeah, I have done a lot. I need to improvise myself. I've done a lot, and the moment you feel that you've done a lot, you need to contradict yourself. So I started contradicting myself, and I started finding resources that would contradict my assumption, and I found machine learning course by Andrew Ng, as well as the Udemy course Machine Learning A to Z. So how did I utilize? I did the machine learning course by Andrew Ng, and I gathered the theoretical concept. I gathered the theoretical understanding from the machine learning A to Z course by Andrew Ng, and the practical aspect I learned from the Udemy course. However, it's not very practical. I mean, the practical scenario is entirely different. When you get into the industry, you will learn what I'm talking about, you will get what I'm talking about. But the practical aspect is like how to get the beginner's coding level of the concepts that are being taught, because the language which is being used for the course and Ng course is Octave. So you won't be using Octave. So in parallel, I did the Udemy machine learning A to Z course. Yeah, so those were my first few 4 months. Then I read one book that was on machine learning, some book. I don't remember the name of the book. I'll drop the name in the comment section. Yeah. So yeah, so those were my first 6 months. I didn't worry much about the speed or the pace of my progress. What I worried about, or what I was concerned with, was the quantity of my learning, or was the quality of my learning, what I learned, and am I 100% confident with it or not. Yeah, so I was quite comfortable with machine learning after 6 or 7 months. Then I wanted to expand my horizon. I wanted to expand my knowledge. I shifted from machine learning to deep learning. It's not like machine learning, deep learning. It's like machine learning, deep learning, entirely different, entirely different. Yeah, so it's not like machine learning, then deep learning, then reinforcement learning. It's like machine learning, deep learning, reinforcement learning, entirely different. Now, machine learning is all about tabular data and making statistical understanding of the tabular data. Now, what is deep learning? Deep learning can deal with computer vision. It can deal with natural language processing. It can deal with natural language processing is all about text data, and it can deal with tabular data as well. But people usually prefer machine learning or sklearn for tabular learning. Yeah, so machine learning, what I was talking about. Let's go a little bit back or behind. So in machine learning, there are various libraries out there. Preferably use sklearn for the beginner stage. And don't worry a lot about statistics and mathematical concepts. All you need to worry about is simple linear algebra and matrices. Don't dive into a lot of statistics and a lot of mathematics. And I didn't dive into. I simply went with the courses and I was good with it. There's not that much required. If you're good with matrices, if you're good with linear algebra, start off with the field. Don't, you can skip statistics for a while. Then yeah, and use sklearn. After that, after you're comfortable with sklearn, so maybe after 1.5 years, switch to stats models, because that is a way better, that's what do you say, a professional aspect, that gives a professional touch and a professional aspect to your machine learning models. You get to know a lot about statistical concepts, and that reinforces your decisions, that supports your decisions. So that is the latest stuff. So after 1.5 years, after you're into the field, you can get into the stats models. But after 1 year, after 6 months, I was done with machine learning. I wanted to expand my horizon. I wanted to jump into deep learning. So once I learned about deep learning, it was I started with computer vision. There are many fields. You can use deep learning for computer vision. You can use deep learning for NLP. You can use deep learning for what not. You can use deep learning for a lot of things. So I started using deep learning for computer vision. In computer vision, I learned about how can a neural network classify an image, how your neural network can classify an image. So that was the hello world thing for me, and the hello world was quite dilemmatic, to be very honest, because neural networks, they deal the input, they break down the image into a complete linear. So whatever you must have heard about MNIST problem, so handwritten digit problem. So there's a 28 cross 28 image. You break that down into 720, 784 cross 1 if it's a simple neural network. And if it's a convolutional 2D, you take it as it is. So that was a quite dilemmatic moment. I couldn't understand what is actually happening, because I was completely satisfied the way convolution 2D deals with it. It takes the image as it is, 28 cross 28, and processes it. But I couldn't accept the fact that why it is being broken down into 784 cross 1 with the simple neural networks. So that was quite dilemmatic or controversial for me, but let it be. So that was the initial phase. So I would say you should struggle for a little while, because before starting any course, try to gather information of that course on yourself. That would help in the long run, because if you gather information on your own, your mind would collect information in the form of pieces, unconnected pieces. Some might be correct, absolutely correct, majority of them would be absolutely correct, but you won't be able to connect those. Some might be wrong. So after that you do a course, you will be connecting all the shattered pieces, as well as rebuilding some and rectifying some. So that's the best approach, no doubt. That's the best approach. That worked for me. So yeah, I started off with deep learning, computer vision, then NLP. That was it. And various courses. Then I started about deep learning.ai specialization course. I did the course. That was fantastic. However, the course does not give you a practical aspect. What the course does, course gives you an understanding how the internals of the various deep learning algorithms or the networks are working, and that's great, because majority of the people have this confusion or dilemma, like it is a black box. So it is not actually a black box. It is a black box, but it's not actually a black box. So it is what it is a self-adjusting matrix, or it's a self-adjusting multiple functions. That's what it is. So you get a deeper understanding of how the things happen. So that is how deep learning.ai specialization helped me. Then what you need to do, don't directly jump into the Kaggle when you are starting off with data science. Please remember, don't directly jump into Kaggle when you are starting off with data science. When you're starting off with data science, all you need to have is a good amount of self-study, a good amount of patience, a good amount of self-study, a good amount of grit, perseverance, and a lot. And once you're done with it, you are good to rise above. Yeah. So yeah, that's how I started. After 2 years, so once you reach a good satisfactory level, you have some research publications. Till 2 years, you have some research publications. You have done some pet projects. You have gained a lot of information. You struggled a bit with gaining information. That would help. Then start off making projects one after another. Like, pick up a topic you have learned about. Pick up a topic like I learned about SiamEzeNet. I would implement a project on SiamEzeNet. I learned about GANs. I would implement a project on GANs. You learned about segmentation. Implement a project on segmentation. You learned a project about question answering. Implement a project on question answering. Right? And share it. Either you can share it on GitHub. You can share it on Kaggle. Make a good portfolio. Make a good portfolio of yourself. That helps in the long run. That definitely helps in the long run. Else, what I would suggest myself is the two key points. First, don't directly jump into Kaggle in the very beginning. Second, if you have to do any course, do it in a very specific manner. What the courses which I did were specifically from deeplearning.ai and the Andrew Ng course, as well as Udemy A to Z. Else, if you have to read any book, you can definitely read any book. I'll drop the links of the books or the names of the books which I read and which I found very useful. Else what I would say is, I would say that during your entire journey, you would have many situations in which you feel like you are absolutely done with the field, you are satisfied, and the moment you are satisfied, try to contradict yourself. That is the key point. Try to contradict yourself the moment you feel you are satisfied with your understanding or your learnings with the field. Yeah, and yeah, that's it. So basically that's it. And regarding the deep learning thing, one another thing I would like to say, deep learning is the framework. So framework is like, do not directly start off with TensorFlow or PyTorch. Start off with Keras. Learn how to implement. Start implementing projects in Keras and struggle a bit in parallel with TensorFlow. So once you're implementing your projects in Keras, you will have an understanding like, okay, this is deep learning, but how does TensorFlow help? You will understand how TensorFlow helps. TensorFlow is quite helpful, but not in the beginning, because it is just confusing yourself. Do not confuse yourself in the beginning of the process, in the beginning of the journey. That I would definitely not like you to do. Yeah, so that is all. The tools, the use Python, use sklearn. After 1.5 years or 2 years, learn about statistics, learn about stats model, shift from sklearn to stats model. That is for machine learning aspect. Then for deep learning aspect, use Keras. Then shift from either TensorFlow or to PyTorch, whatever you like, or learn 3 of them like I did, and use them as per your comfort. I learned PyTorch only for interpretive purposes. Like, if somebody writes in code in PyTorch, how would I understand? So I learned PyTorch for that, and it's not hard to learn PyTorch once you have learned Keras or once you have learned TensorFlow, because PyTorch is quite generic, is a very generic Python, written in a generic Python language. So it imitates like the Python language. So it's quite understandable. Python way of programming. Yeah, that's a better way. That's a better word to put. Else. Regarding the courses you can do. The certificates don't help. So do not aim for the certificates. Do not at all aim for the certificates of Coursera. Aim for your understanding. Aim for your knowledge. That's what you should aim for. Yeah. Else, one suggestion that I would give myself to a junior self is to keep practicing tests which are available on internet, which I didn't do. So had I done that, it would have expedited my process of learning. Had I done that, like, there are many tests available on hiring platforms, or just to gauge your performance, your to understanding. You can keep doing that. That is a suggestion that I would give to my younger self. And yeah, that's it. If there's anything else, I think that would be a very brief introduction. I would make a follow-up video on how to get into how to get into computer vision, as well as how to get into machine learning, how to NLP, all those sub fields. but not now. This is the very introductory video. So key points is like Python. For me, it was Python that worked well. sklearn, use sklearn. Use Weka. Use Weka for your initial understanding. Use Weka for your initial understanding. That is a no-code platform. Use Weka as a no-code platform. Use your understanding. Test your understanding on test data set. Once you're comfortable with your understanding, switch to Python coding. Use sklearn. Get into basically what we are trying to do is there are certain levels of understanding. So once you begin with a very superficial level of understanding with Weka, that gives a very superficial understanding, like does not get into details. So switching from Weka to sklearn to stats models, or switching from Keras to TensorFlow to custom TensorFlow, what does it mean? It means to how much detailing you are getting into, and you would not definitely like to run before learning how to walk. Don't jump before learning how to walk. So definitely you start with Weka, learn what machine learning is. First you learn what machine learning is. In parallel to that, learn Python. Then switch on to sklearn. That gives more detailing, that gets into more details. Then switch on to stats model. Same goes for deep learning. Start with Keras, then switch to either TensorFlow or PyTorch. Then custom TensorFlow. Then learn about TPUs, how to do TPUs and all of the stuff. So you do it in a proper and organized way, and that would definitely help. That would obviously help. Read other people's projects, try to make short notes of what that particular person did. So they pick up one topic. Let's say you are trying to learn cats and dogs classification. So if you're trying to do cats and dogs classification, pick up various notebooks, try to learn what were the approaches, make an amalgamation of all the good approaches and make your own project. That would help. That's how you keep on learning, and that's not a 1 day thing or 2 day thing. It takes time, but the more you do, the better you get. Yeah. So that's it. If there's anything else I can help you with, please drop that in the comment section, and I'll be more than happy to help you. All right, take care. Bye bye.